Hey guys, Jeremiah with Steps Pressure Washing and More. We are going to be going out to Garner today. We've got two houses to pressure wash. They're going to be side by side. One of the people saw one of our signs out in Garner and said, hey, neighbor, you want to get in on this together? So they called me together and said, hey, we want you to come out and pressure wash both of our houses same day. And I said, that sounds wonderful to me. So I'm going to go ahead and knock those out today. And our first job of the day actually canceled on us. Well, not canceled, they rescheduled. It just didn't work out for them to do it today. I like to send out a reminder text a day or two before I come out just to make sure that everybody is still happy and ready to rock and roll. And she texted me back last night and said, hey, I can't do it tomorrow. So we pushed her out a couple weeks till after Thanksgiving. So I spent this time finishing up the lights here on the blue house, and I'm really excited with how they came out. Can't wait to see them tonight after it gets dark. But I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. Everything's ready on the trailer, so I just got to get in the truck and go. All right, hang tight. All right, we are out here on job number one. We're going to be washing this house right back here. We are not going to be touching this garage. And then we're going to roll up and roll over here, and we're going to do this house next. But I'll go around. We're going to do a quick walk through first. Because this side is the southern facing, so we're going to go ahead and do an oxidation check. Not much, actually. A little bit. That might just be a little bit of grime. It's coming over here to this white part here. Really not much for oxidation here either. Okay, very cool. Go ahead and taped up all the door locks. Again, oxidation check here. No oxidation found. No open door locks on the back of the house. We only taped up the front of the house. Everything seems to be moved reasonably out of the way. And over here is the green side. Really the only area where we have a lot of algae growth. So we're going to be using our 1% mix. And snail marks. So this is ready to roll, but really the only area of major concern. But we're going to get everything washed up, get all the grime off. And right up here, I'm going to wet down that flag before we get started on the front side so that it's nice and saturated. We don't want to bleach it out, but we don't really need them to take it down, so we're just going to take care of it while we're here. But I'm going to note that as well. We have an open attic vent on the front. We actually have two open attic vents, so I'll be avoiding those two areas while I go through. We are hooked up to well water today, so hopefully no issues with continuity of pressure, but we'll see as we go. All right. We wrapped around here to the north side of the house, just waiting for the soap to kick in. Again, we are running with no surfactant currently. So I'm just running that 1% sodium hypochlorite mix. And we are finding that leaves less as far as streaks on the windows. For instance, cleaner. It doesn't dwell as long, but that's okay. We don't really need a huge dwell with the 1% mix. Oh yeah. making the magic happen. Again, yard signs. That's how we got this customer and the one next door. Same yard sign. Very grateful they gave us the opportunity to come out today and do this. Right into the shadow here. All right, we're here on job number 2. We have rolled up and moved the truck right over here. We're just off of this main road, so definitely going to be talking to the homeowner about leaving a sign out. Definitely a lot of mildew on this one. It's a white house, so it shows everything. Even over here, this is not the north side. We've got a good bit of algae, so this is going to absolutely come out looking amazing. Let's come around here to the back. Had an issue with the pressure towards the end, so I'm hoping it was the soft water system and not my pump. We're going to hook up here. We're going to see what happens, but I'm hoping it was just the soft water system was cutting back my water supply. All right, right over here. They've come through with a Home Depot or homeowner version of a soft wash, and they cleaned part of it, but they weren't able to get everything, and definitely not up high enough for these gutter lines. So gonna get that all nice and clean while we're here. Gonna knock out those 2 little chairs. This door back here needs a little love. I'm gonna come back around. I'm gonna tape these door locks up, and I'm gonna have to see what angle will be needed to get those gutters up there. That's a pretty tight squeeze. All right, here we go. Sunny side. Let's do an oxidation check. And just a little bit of oxidation here. Let's check the front of the house as well. Oh yeah, a lot of oxidation here on the front of the house. All right. A nice peek up here. As long as we've got pressure and the pump is fine, we will have no issue hitting these dormers and peaks. So let's go get it cranked up and see what's going on. Alright, so that's not the best flow ever, but let's go ahead and crank it up and we're going to see what we got going on. So we've got doable pressure. Not the best, but it is doable. Alright, so something is definitely wrong. I've come through and washed the whole backside of the house with just about as little pressure as I can do it and still be able to kind of sort of do it. But it is not pristine like I want. So we're going to try to turn the water softener back on and see if that helps with flow. And if it's not, I'm thinking it's my unloader, because when I let off the trigger, my motor does not change sounds, so I'm feeling like we're not switching from high to low pressure. So as well, when I let off the trigger, I really don't have any change or any kick. So I'm thinking that my, gosh, I hope it's not the pump, but it might be the unloader. But either way, the unloader is built in on the pump. So I'm going to go talk to the customer, see if they can turn that water softener back on. Alright, so here we go. This is with the water softener off. It is better. This is not going to reach the peaks. And it is not spitting and sputtering like water pressure issue. I believe it's the unloader, so I'm going to go ahead and just rinse off everything all the soap I put on here, go talk to the customer, then go home and swap this pump out. Alright, so we are home now, sitting in the driveway. I'm purging the air out of the line, and we're going to crank this up and see if this is an issue specifically with that customer's water source or possibly with the unloader. So let's crank this up and see. Alright, so let's get away from the motor so we can test this out and check. It's looking okay-ish. Let's do a little distance test. And that is not what we're looking for. We need a lot more than that on our X-Jet. So, not at all what I was hoping was going to happen when we got home. Well, hold on. Maybe. Let me close this garage. Alright, so I'm already noticing that the unloader does not kick in when I let off the trigger, and there's no kick when I get back on here. I seem to have some distance though. Yeah, I'm able to get those peaks. I'm able to get the peaks, but not what I want. So let me get on this thing and see what's going on. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and change this pump out. This has been our pump for the past 3 years. And my understanding is just taking these 4 bolts off, it comes off. And then we take the new pump, put it right on with the same 4 bolts. So we're going to see if that works out okay. Unfortunately, in order to change this unloader, I have to change the pump. I was not super well versed in all things pressure washers when I bought my first pressure washer back in 2020. Well, for the business, that is. And so I bought one where it has a built-in unloader, built-in downstream injector. This is kind of a semi-pro version of a pressure washer, so it's not set up to do interchangeable parts. So I'm going to go ahead and swap the whole pump out to one with a unloader that is not built in. We actually bought last year as a backup, and I'm glad we have it because I'm really hoping that this will be a quick fix and we will be back in business tomorrow morning. Alright, so I have removed, this is actually overnight, I was able to get the new pump installed. I removed the old AR pump that came on the pressure washer, and I've installed our Comet ZWD 4040, and this came really all pre-built for us. So it has a unloader already on it. It has a downstream injector that I'm going to be taking off, but I'm just going to actually try and fire this up. It really was pretty simple, just 4 bolts on, 4 bolts off, or 4 bolts off, then 4 bolts back on, getting everything lined up in there. The old pump was running on this for about 3 years, so it was pretty good and stuck, but that was nothing too crazy. I didn't need to use pry bars or anything. I was able to remove it myself. This one does have a bypass line. This has a lot of upgraded items that I really wanted. When I bought this last year, I just never got around to using it because we didn't have to. So this is brand new, still in the box that was sitting in the garage. So I'm going to give this a quick startup and see if it works. Much better. Alright, so that was much better. I just set the unloader after I got it cranked up. Just finding kind of the optimal pressure on it, and it's running great. So I'm going to go ahead and take off this downstream injector that's built in and this brass quick connect. I'm going to go ahead and throw a stainless steel quick connect on here, and then my standard downstream injector, and then I'm going to do a bucket test to make sure that this flow rate is not throwing off our 7-to-1 ratio. And then I'm going to kind of put the trailer back together. I did have to move the pressure washer sideways because the pump and the fittings face the other direction rather than over here towards the hose reels. So I had to move the tank and all that. So it's not quite a project completed, but at least if I have to, I can just strap all this down and run off and pressure wash a house. So let me go ahead and get that bucket test done and switch out a couple of these fittings, and we should be ready to rock and roll.